So I've got another fragrance package that has just landed, and I've got to be honest with you guys, this is probably one of the most exciting fragrance launches of the year, in my opinion. Yes, people, what is going on YouTube, and welcome back to another video. If you're new here and this is the first video you're watching of mine, my name's TJ, and over here on my channel I discuss all things fragrances and the fragrance industry. So if there's anything you'd like for me to create, let me know down in the comments. And I know I mention this in every video, but this is for anyone who's spotting my content for the first time here on YouTube. So if you don't know, I create daily content on Snapchat, on TikTok and on Instagram, so go over and follow those platforms as well. Everything's at TJ Talk Sense. So the fragrance parcel I've got right here, this is from Fugazzi, but it's actually more exciting than that because this is actually a collaboration with another fragrance brand called Born to Stand Out. I'm telling you, it's crazy. Now before we get into the package, this also came in there as well, and this is like a massive shopper bag. This thing is huge. So let's open the box and see what we have got inside. So it starts out, you got 2 cards. Why settle for one when you can double the fun? Hey, that's a good saying, you know. So there's the card right there. So essentially, if you don't know, this is 2 different brands. So Fugazzi's one brand and Born to Stand Out is another. Born to Stand Out's bottles are like this with the red writing on, and Fugazzi's bottles are like this with the black writing on. So essentially what they've done, and why I think this is super exciting, is Born to Stand Out have let Fugazzi make one fragrance for them, and Fugazzi have let Born to Stand Out make one fragrance for them. Hella confusing, I know, but basically 2 brands and they both made a fragrance for each other, which is actually nuts. And I wish they sent me both of the fragrances, but listen, beggars can't be choosers. I just wish I was able to smell both and compare them. But this is how the fragrance comes packaged right there. So this is Fugazzi's fragrance that was directed and made by Born to Stand Out. So let's get into this bad boy, man. And there is the fragrance bottle right there. This looks tiny in my hand, but it's got to be at least a 50 ml, surely. Is it 50? Where's the ml? Yeah, 50, and it's an Extrait de Parfum as well. Now, this is my first fragrance from Fugazzi, and I also don't own anything yet from Born to Stand Out. So you guys let me know in the comments, does this count as owning one from both house? I don't know. And I've tried their fragrances before, but I didn't know they have magnetic caps on there. Boom, that's actually clean. The cap is actually a different color from the bottle, which is weird. Is it sturdy? Oh, it nearly passed the test. It's good enough. So the tagline for this fragrance is, why have one when you can double the fun? And that is because this fragrance is meant to represent that forbidden romance, the romance that you're not allowed, that's crazy, passionate and stuff. So I'm expecting something a little bit sexy. Let's see what that man's is saying. Alright, very good, very good. So I haven't looked at any of the notes in the fragrance. When the package arrived, I was just too gassed to open it. But let's see what I pick up, man. Slightly musky. It has almost like a Montal Infinity kind of vibe. Little bit musky, little bit smoky. It's good. If I was to picture a colour, it would be like red and black. And there's definitely some rose in this fragrance, but it's paired with some sort of spice. There might be pepper in this or something like that, but I'm definitely getting rose. For me, I understand what they're getting at with that kind of forbidden romance, because me saying I picture red and black, that's kind of those sexual colours. It's got rose in it, which is obviously like a romantic kind of note in a fragrance or in life in general. But there's something to it. It's very mysterious. That's what it kind of reminds me of. That's the best way to put this. This is a mysterious fragrance. And before I look up anything in the fragrance, would I say this leans feminine or masculine? I would actually say it leans a little bit more masculine. There's some darker tones, darker nuances in this fragrance that just give me like a strong man, but he'll do some damage in the bedroom, if that makes sense. Quite like myself. I'm joking. Listen, I'm joking. And while I let the fragrance dry down a little bit, I remember speaking to the owner of Born to Stand Out, John Lim. I met him at Javoy a couple of months ago, and he was showing me the range and explaining a little bit about the brand. And he said that Born to Stand Out, obviously trying to be outside of the box and not trying to do anything that's conventional or that loads of other brands are doing. They haven't even been around for that long. I think 2019, they got so many fragrances in their range. And I think one thing that stood out to me, he said they don't use conventional notes or records that loads of other brands use. So I don't even think they use vanilla in certain fragrances. I don't think they go for the traditional floral fragrances as well. So that was kind of interesting to me. And none of their fragrances, I kind of hear people describe them as beast mode or that's got a crazy central. They do tend to sit a little bit closer to the skin, but they are very unique. And when it comes to Fugazzi, I've tried a few of their fragrances in Liberty, London. And as well, they were all pleasant smelling fragrances. Nothing was like crazy oud or leaned in a mad direction. And when I've tested them on skin, they did sit a little closer to the skin as well. So that's why I think these 2 brands merging and partnering up with this fragrance is pretty cool. And I've got the laptop out now because I want to check the notes in this fragrance. Let's go to the trusty Fragrantica, see if what I picked up is similar to what's in here. So we have got, so they say bergamot and geraniums in there, which I didn't pick up too much in the opening at all. Rose is definitely in there. There is akigala wood, which is in something like Blue Talisman as well. And there's pepper. So I did say I was getting that rose mixed with some sort of spice or something a little bit darker. And there is actually cedarwood, leather and tobacco. And then a final note of amber. But do I get any leather at all? Not really. At the moment, it's like a prominent rose with spices in there. No leather or tobacco to me, but maybe it will come through a little bit more on skin. But I did say it leans a little bit masculine or mysterious. And that probably does come from that. And in my opinion, the top 3 romantic kind of sexy date night fragrance accords or notes that would be in a fragrance would be something like rose, of course, vanilla, leather, or even something like a boozy accord like rum or whiskey. I got to spray this one in the air again just to see, man. But so far, so good. I'm actually enjoying this one. I actually want to wear this on my next kind of date night or outing that I go on in the evening because of the note breakdown and how this smells. I think it would do well in the cooler weather. So nights like we've got here in the UK right now, this would be perfect. And at the beginning, you guys might have thought I was bugging when I said this is probably one of the most exciting fragrance launches in my opinion, but it's not. This is something that you don't see done every day in the community. Because when it comes to clothing, you see Cortez linking up with Nike, recently you see Picante linking up with Bentley and creating some crazy pieces together, and it just seems to work. But in the fragrance industry, it doesn't really. And next year in 2025, I definitely want to see some more of this because for me, this is hella exciting. I do think there's going to be a couple of barriers or problems if certain brands try and do this. Like, I don't think this would work well with a designer brand, for example. I can't see Tom Ford linking up with Dior to create a fragrance just because there's so many layers in those businesses. They're almost like rivals and competitors as well. So I'm not sure how that will actually work. But I definitely think when it comes to niche fragrance houses, this is easy for them to do because there's not so many layers in the company. The owners can speak to each other and get the kind of creative juices flowing as well. But I do think, and this is a massive thing that companies need to consider, both of the brands need to be aligned in the fragrances that they already create and already have in their range. So the first brand that come to my mind as I'm saying this would be Diptyque collaborating with Byredo. I think those two houses both do fragrances that are similar. Not that I rate them. I think both of those houses are probably some of the worst niche fragrance houses, but loads of people seem to love them. But I feel like Diptyque and Byredo, if they done a collab, that would be crazy. So you guys let me know down in the comments if there's any other brands that are on your mind while I'm saying this that you think would actually work sick. Let me know. But just deep it. Just imagine right now Maison Francis Kurkdjian collaborated with Kilian Paris and they made like the best boozy amber fragrance together. How mad would that actually be? Like, hopefully we speak into existence, man. Fingers crossed. But yeah, man, that is the end of the video. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. What I'm going to try and do for you guys is get my nose on the Born to Stand Out X Fugazzi fragrance. So the opposite of this one. It should be available in Javoy, hopefully, for me to try, or Bloom Perfumery in Covent Garden. So if any of you guys have tried this fragrance or you're excited to get your nose on it, let me know. And when you try this one or the Born to Stand Out collab one, message me on Instagram. Let me know what you thought of it. But yeah, man, I won't waste any more of your time. Thank you guys for watching. And as always, love for your love, my people.